Depending on how you use your truck, it may be smart to go ahead and actually take out the battery tray that does sit immediately under your battery and take it out to be cleaned a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do right now. One thing to note is it does have these two little tabs here on the bottom that you can see line up perfectly with these two holes. And you're going to want to make sure that you do line that up nice and perfectly for when you get your battery reinstalled. And this whole time I actually thought that the battery tray was actually a piece of metal, but this is the first time I've gotten such a close look at it, and obviously you can see it flexing a little bit. It's a kind of softer plastic material, which is interesting, but I guess that may help a little bit with vibrations. If you take it off-road, it's not going to be hard metal and really shaking up against that battery. But anyhow, I cleaned it as much as I can. There is a bit of an outline where I guess some dirt and debris had really sat over time, and with the battery on top of it, just kind of made it a part of that plastic. The plastic is now that color, but that's okay. Doesn't really matter, just thought since I had the battery out, might as well have gone ahead and cleaned it. So what we're going to do is go ahead and replace this, and then we are going to put the brand new battery in. Now that we've got the new Autocraft Platinum battery buttoned down, we're going to start up the truck and see how it does. You all know exactly what I'm going to do with this. Bad idea. Bad idea. So really the main reason that I did end up going with the Autocraft Platinum AGM battery was, one, because it was an AGM, so a little bit of an upgrade over the topped off water one, where you do actually have to eventually add water to it, especially in the warmer climates where it could, evaporate and wear down, and obviously that's when you get some drier cells, and then your actual capacity is lowered because it does need the distilled water within that battery to actually help create that energy to start the vehicle and keep accessories going, especially if the vehicle is off. One of the other reasons to that is because of cost. So when looking at the actual cost of some AGM batteries, I was kind of blown away because they're closer to $300. And the reason I went with the Autocraft one was because not only was it a little bit more affordable, but in that packaging that they have, it is kind of deceptive in a way with these batteries, because come to find out after doing extensive research with it, there aren't all that many battery manufacturers out there, and when it comes to the different manufacturers that are there are only so many differences between them, but they are still going to be packaged differently and then marked up. So for instance, an Interstate battery that is an AGM with the same exact specs as this is a bit more expensive, and I thought, well, Interstate has been known to be a good brand, but if it has the same specs as this and it turns out that it's actually made by the same people, what's the difference? Why would I pay more for different packaging, especially when it's under the hood anyway? I'm not trying to impress anybody with the looks of my battery. So that was one reason that I had gone with it as well, because I'm not going to, pay extra for that different packaging. That seems a little absurd to me, to get the same exact functionality out of it, which is ultimately just getting a dependable battery that's going to start it up during the winter and not leave me stranded after, however many years like the OEM battery could potentially. As it turns out, with these OEM Toyota batteries that are actually manufactured by Johnson Controls, as you can see right here, they are pretty sporadic in how long they actually last. So in my case, my battery did not die. I didn't have any issues with it, except for the fact that on some of these colder October mornings, say when it was like 48, 49, 50 degrees, it was a noticeably slower turnover when I would go to hit the start button for my truck to, turn over and obviously get the engine going. It was a bit slower, like noticeably slower than previous winters. So I thought, oh, I'm getting to the point where my battery is actually almost 4 years old. 4 years from the date of manufacture, which, let me get up and turn around here. After looking around here on the battery, as you can maybe see right here, there's a date. So it says 29/01/16, which I deciphered to be January 29th, 2016. And so that falls right in line with when my truck was actually assembled. My truck was assembled on February 4th, 2016. So this makes sense, having the battery come straight from the factory in Milwaukee, being sent all the way down to Baja, Mexico, where my truck was manufactured. And in this case, which is the case for a lot of Toyota OEM batteries, is that after about 3 to 3.5 years, they do actually end up starting to die. And I was just not really wanting to deal with all of that, and thought I'd be a little bit proactive with some of the preventative maintenance and get myself the new AGM battery. And so that concludes today's video. As you can see, the battery worked, it started up, everything was connected back properly. So if you guys have any questions or comments, leave them below. And if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please do consider doing so. We've got more content coming out this fall, throughout the winter, and leading us into 2020, still with the Tacoma, and will be for the foreseeable future. So thank you all so much for watching. Have a fantastic week, everybody, and I'll catch you next time.